Is that 10 seconds?
That is. Perfect.
Hey, THL. Welcome to this week's live power ranking stream. I'm Mange, here with MV Parker, and special guest, Ridiculous Hat. Cassidy 14 is in the middle of a girls' basketball tournament, so he couldn't make it as a player, I might add. Hat, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Glad to be here for the power rankings, ready for some dank memes.
Yeah, thank you for filling it. So, to start us off, we have, and our bottom tier, our needs work tier, number 20, the Bad Hombres. Oh no, we suck again. I think we were 18th last week.
Yep.
We moved back down to 20. We'll probably stay here for the rest of the season, to be honest. We're bad, but we're having a lot of fun, so that's cool. I'm just going to move on. We don't need to talk about the Hombres anymore. We have at number 19, a Nisham Novum, who was previously the YOG champs. Mm-hmm. So this is a completely brand new roster, and we felt that it would be weird to just give them the YOG champs position when, I guess not completely brand new, but 3 out of the 5 members are different. So I don't have the new roster in front of me because I'm ill-prepared.
I have it.
You want to read it off to me?
So we've got 3 players that are new to the league. Saphyrix is the first one. I believe that D. Lyman said that he had previously tried to sign him, but his PR was too high. Got Blue Spartan in the 2 seed. Both of those are right around 415 or so. Saphyrix is 416, Blue Spartan is 412. Wolf Mac stuck around. Captain Arcane stuck around. And then we've got Slime Guy, also new to the league, number 5. You may remember him as on the first THL drama post last week. He said, well, I'm a free agent. My PR is such and such.
Yeah, and he made it onto a team. So, yeah, we don't really know much about them outside of Arcane is having an amazing season. And Wolfmac, I believe, got his first win last week.
Yeah.
So
we kind of just put them down here because they were so unknown. Like, it's not that we think they're the 19th worst team in the league, but, we just don't know, so we're just going to put them here because that's what we did in the preseason when we didn't know about teams. We put them near the bottom. So I'll put them here and give them a chance to work their way into where we think they are next week.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So
they're coming into with a really high point number 2. They have a lot of points coming in, so they're well situated.
Yeah, they're extremely well situated. So I think all eyes are on them now. We haven't really had this situation in THL before. And we're all kind of interested to see how it shakes out. So good luck, Captain Arcane. At number 18, we have Team Swagoy. They are in gold? Or no, they're in black. Nope, they're not either.
They're in yellow.
They're in yellow.
Or blue.
Holy shit!
We'll get there.
Yeah, we found it. Yeah, it's okay. Team Swagoy. So this is like our first big upset of the week. They crushed Team Golden Wisp, who we had really high, I think, last week. We had them like 7th or some shit. So, that's super cool. We have Captain Tom Lock getting a DQ win over Hupnar. NMR losing to Double Os in a 5-game series. So that was really tight. And then Troy McClure and Braxy taking it 3-2 and 3-0 respectively over Alec, GW Podcast, and Jubik's Cube. So a nice little win for them. We did not give them as much credit for the win as some people might because it was on the back of a DQ. Mm-hmm. But, they're finally off the schneid and onto the board with a pretty solid win. And they need to now use this to build momentum. What do you guys think about Swagway?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think they won. But they won by 4 points on the back of a DQ, which gave the other team 4 points. So, the last match, whatever, it would have came down to that, the DQ match. But, Humptar, submit your classes. So.
Well, no, he submitted his class. He just didn't show up.
Okay, either way. Play your match.
Arguably more important.
Show up to your match.
But, I don't know, Swagoy, for them to beat Golden Wisp, even to make it close when they were rated so high last week, there is some potential here.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to adjust to the Conquest format. I do think, unfortunately, Doc McButt has a pretty poor win rate in the 5 seed, so I really hope that he can get it together because I think he might be the linchpin in this team turning the corner. But he's played 10 games in THL this season and has won 1 of them. So until he can get that figured out, it's going to be really difficult, kind of limping into every week, almost down a match.
Yep. Also, I just turned on the stream and I really fucking love your picture hat.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That ice cream milkshake was so unbelievably good, and there's no whiskey in it.
Perfect.
Fantastic. All right, so moving on, we have Netherstorm at 17. They were previously 14. They really they can't string anything together though. As they went down to Hearthstone Academy, who has been on our lower end on this list for most of this season. So just give a quick recap. Krovan and Mushu lost to Brewski and JB 1-3. And Twiz got swept by me, myself, and I, which I think surprised pretty much everyone. Good news is that Swanky Tiger and K2 both ended up with wins, but yeah, it's just more of the same for Netherstorm. Really inconsistent, can't string together multiple wins. And it's like different holes in the lineup each week, right? Like some weeks the one seeds are, the upper seeds are winning and the lower seeds are winning. Other weeks it's flip-flops. So it feels like every time they have something figured out, it falls apart again. And yeah, I don't know.
They have one player with a win rate above 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Twiz, right? Yeah. So, not looking good for Netherstorm, but still early, and they've been known to go on these late season runs, as we mentioned, pretty much every week. So, just kind of keep looking for that.
Yeah.
At number. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's like everyone on their team seems to be pretty inconsistent. Like some weeks they're winning, some weeks they're not. Like Twiz sometimes looks like the strong point of the team, and then like he loses, gets swept this week, and I'm pretty sure, spoilers, he's already lost this week in THL. Got beat by Jing Buddha.
F.
So like I don't know. I feel like consistency is a big problem with their team.
Yeah, I agree. So. Number 16, we have Team Avatar. Team Avatar got fucking crushed by Team Wombat.
Yep.
That's not really even another way to put it. Only Lemur won for Team Avatar, beating Bitbeaker 3-2.
When was the last time that sentence has ever been said?
I bet you that's the first time this has ever happened to Lemur. And knowing Lemur, I'm sure he let his teammates know several times. Which, is fine, because if the reverse were true, all of his teammates would let Lemur know. So yeah, Team Avatar is kind of a fucking dumpster fire, to be honest.
Implosion.
We had them up fairly high to start the season, and they've just done mostly losing. And yep, welcome back to the dumpster, Avatar.
And I'll point out that in position, their 2 seed has played 6 games and has won 0 of them.
Rip.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, this is kind of a week of movement. Like, we're starting to get more information and see where teams actually should be. So you're going to see a lot of movement on these power rankings. Teams are moving 4, 5, 6 spots, sometimes more.
Yep, pretty much. Sorry, Avatar, but not really that sorry, to be honest. Number 15, we have Xenergy, who obviously went through a week of turmoil recently. And they ended up tying Defias Brotherhood, who everyone thinks pretty highly of Defias Brotherhood. So going through that kind of a week and then being able to tie is super impressive. Katoda ended up winning 3-2 over Old Greg in a match that I wish was on stream. Samu went down 2-3 to Aroy, but Sab and Brentley each won in 5-game series. Tranador got swept and then promptly quit the league, bringing his total lifetime record in THL to 1-5. Sounds like not a nice guy, so maybe that's just overall better for Xenergy. Yeah, so they showed some signs of life after a really, really rough week, and I'm glad for Captain Dexter that was the case, because I know he's taking this super hard. You guys want to chime in here?
Well, and their sub that they lost Trandor, and they got back Boom Boom Hall, who was a former 1 seed. And now if you look at their PR, Katota's 443, Boom Boom Hall 407, Samu 396, Ab 385, and then their 5 seed Brentley at 146. I think the loss of Tranador will be an improvement for this team in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I really agree. Pretty strong.
That guy's like having Ron Artest in his prime on your team. He's just toxic all around.
Yeah, but Ron Artest in his prime is at least good.
Yeah,
that's true. I don't know.
You got a point.
Yeah, I don't know. Good for his energy, for being able to tie. So they moved up a little bit against a really tough opponent, and they now have a chance because this division's still pretty wide open. I mean, it's still very early. They have that chance to make some noise and start fighting for those upper spots in the division rankings.
Yep.
Number 14, we have Team Wilmette, who was previously 19.
Big move.
We just talked about them a little bit. They shit all over Avatar. 4 out of their 5 members won, including Jack Sox winning 3-1 over Anarchist. Captain Bit Beaker still doesn't have a win on this season, I don't think. Maybe he won one. I don't think he did, though. And that's concerning if you're Team Wilmette, because that's become a hole at this point. Yeah, I know. Hot Asian Grill getting that win, Eldorian getting that win. Those guys have been fairly okay this season. Hot Asian Grill a little bit worse than I thought. Overall, Team Wilmette is well positioned, I think. Are they in first? They might be in first.
They're definitely near the top.
Yeah, okay. They're in second. They're 2 points behind Parallax, which is much better than I thought they'd be, to be honest, at this point. So good for them. Moving up. They jumped really high, partly because some people above them lost, but still.
A lot of people above them lost. This was a week where everyone in the middle and the top all got dumpstered, and then the whole bottom just racking up the W's.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next week, I don't even know who they play next week. I used to have this pulled up. I'm really unorganized. I'm sorry, guys.
You're looking at Wilmette or Hearthstone Academy?
Wilmette.
Next week they play. Well, this week they play NWA.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Well,
that should give more information on the PIS division to begin with.
Yep.
Yeah. So, good for Wilmette getting on the board. Oh, why I don't have all this open. It's all open now. All right. So moving on, we have Hearthstone Academy at 13. Previously, they were 16. They have been quietly racking up a couple of wins in a row now. Ever since Sage DQ'd in, not a couple of wins in a row, but a couple of strong performances in a row.
Yeah.
Sage DQ'd last week, which ended up costing them what would have been a potential win, but this week, pretty sure they whooped that ass.
Yep.
They beat
Storm and crushed them.
And we mentioned earlier, me, myself, and he beat Twitch. I don't think he's lost yet this season.
He is not. He is 9-3 in games, 3-0 in matches. He is earning his spot as a 3 seed and might find his way into 2 seed. But JB has also had a really good season too. 9-5 in games and 3-0 in matches as well.
Yeah. So both of those guys, that you can tell that's been like the strength of their team, that 2 and that 3 seed. They've struggled a little bit in the 4 seed, and I think they've struggled in the 5 seed. I don't think they have a win. They have one win.
Yeah, Scritch has won week 2, but lost weeks 1 and 3.
Yeah, so that's concerning if you're Hearthstone Academy, because you tend to be able to bully teams the most, like the most unfair matches in the bottom of your lineup. Mm-hmm. And if that's like struggling for you, you really have to make it up elsewhere. To this point they have, right? They've gotten those wins in the 2 and 3 seed. So they've strung together, so like a bunch of 10+ point weeks in a row, and they're looking pretty good. And they are also in the running for that gold division.
Myself, and I is Tigger and Biscuits. He's Wallerson the spaghetti.
He is. I don't know what you're doing here, but yeah.
I don't really know
all of his names that he has.
Oh. All right, well, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on now. Number 12, we have Danger Zone, who was previously 10, and so obviously they went through a pretty big week themselves. losing Captain Vendy for the season, and then appointing a captain, and he's now left the league, so they're kind of up in the air team wise. So last week they played against Parallax, and I thought this was their like big week, right? Like to take that next step, to take that big jump and beat a quality opponent, and they didn't play as well as I thought they would, and they ended up losing. So I think part of that probably is due to how tumultuous the week was, but they've tended to do this over the last 2 or 3 seasons now, where they start off really hot and then just fade at come mid-season, and I think I'm hoping that we're not seeing that again.
They did have some positives. Getting Echo in his first week back sweeps Houdini. That's a pretty big win.
It is. Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely name-wise, name recognition for sure. That's a big win. Houdini has struggled himself in THL though, so yeah.
But just to come back, that's got to be a confidence booster, right? He hasn't played in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hasn't played THL Hearthstone for a couple weeks now. So
Jing Buddha is finally starting to string together consecutive wins and showing that he can be consistent.
He's 3-0 on the season.
Yeah, I say Jing Buddha hasn't lost it. He's actually 4-0 now, right? Because he did beat Twiz already.
He beat Twiz already this week. Yeah.
And Delta 4-1, I thought was the big key for them, and I thought that he had the advantage over Dire Spare. Didn't end up happening as he got swept.
Yeah, he's having a really rough season, which is surprising for someone like him in the 3 seed.
I thought he was doing okay. I
think he's sub 50% win rate on the season.
42%.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So. Yeah, I don't know what to think about Danger Zone. I think ultimately, being so light in the 1 seed and the 2 seed is going to end up really hurting them, PR wise. Like they just don't stack up in those areas. Just looking at pure PR value. So yeah, I think 12 is appropriate now. For now, I'm not sure who they play next week because I don't have it open anymore. But yeah, I honestly it doesn't matter. They need. Well, there you go. They have a chance of stringing together those wins that they really need.
Yeah, that's 2 inconsistent teams going at it, so it's interesting to see who comes out on top on that one.
Yeah, it's curious. We should get more information about both by the time that match is over.
Mm-hmm.
And good start for Danger Zone. As we said, Jingbo has already beaten Twiz. And that's in the 3 seed, right? So Jingbo has moved up a seed.
Yep.
Working his way back up.
Yeah. Yep. Climbing the ladder.
So number 11, we have Team Golden Wisp, who was previously 7. And we dumpstered them because they lost a bad game against a team that they shouldn't have lost to, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they lost to Swagway, right? And they got 10 points on the board, so that's cool. And the DQ definitely didn't help.
Yeah, but that was a big reason for them moving down so much too. If you can't find the time to play your match, well, you can't find the time to keep you near the top on these rankings.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. We're really harsh on DQs, especially on repeat offenders. So, just looking
Golden Wisp has 2 DQs so far this season too. Like they have one in the 1 seed last season. Double O's versus Slumps would have been a great match to see, but Double O's couldn't submit his class.
Yep, so that was a big reason for them falling.
Super surprised that Alec lost. He did lose in 5, so that's I mean, one of those is that 3 seed over there dunked on the Fisher Price hoops, but losing 2-3, I guess it's a closer series, and at that point it's kind of anyone's match, but it's still surprising to me. Sunshine. Kept up the good work, at least sweeping Doc McButt.
Yeah, he's undefeated on the season, right?
He is undefeated.
9-2 in games, 3-0 in matches. Really impressive.
Rubik's Cube was previously undefeated. Ended up falling to Braxy 0-3. So, I don't know. I don't really know what to think about Team Golden Wisp. I was never super high on them, and then their earlier season results looked promising. But now I'm kind of falling back to not being as high on them.
Yeah, I think going forward, they just need to try and play their matches and rally around their 1 and 5 seed. That seems to be the real strength for that team.
Yeah, and I do think Alex is going to be really good in the 3 seed when the season's said and over. He should be strong. So at that point, it's just playing your matches.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't weigh in, you can't wrestle.
Yep, true.
At number 10, we have Noob Central, who was previously 9. I think they even might be too high at 10, to be honest.
Agreed. But everyone around here lost, so.
So they went up against the Harry Generals. I said on Tavern Talk on Thursday that this is the game that they really needed to win, right? Like they're a team that's like who is perceived to be good, but not great. And Noob Central wants to take that next step into being, better than just Noob Central, right? Better than being the inconsistent team that they've been. And they got, frankly, they got fucking rocks. Like they lost every match but one. Cutthroat did beat Jedi and the battle of just grizzled veteran THL players. But Racy lost to Markshire, which, frankly, as great as Markshire is in this league, like Racy, you gotta, like, that's pretty much why Noob Central is paying you those 500 points, right? Like, you have to win those kind of matches.
Racy beat himself, right?
Yeah, there was some issue with the bans from what I hear, but like, no excuses. Like, do your fucking shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thor Smash lost to Chigmo 2-3, and then Ham and Josh Sampson both got fucking donked 1-3. So, yeah, I think frankly, Noob Central, people can make a case for them to be lower, and I would agree. And I think they're fortunate to be this. Yep. Good news for them though is they play the bad Hombres this week, so they'll probably come out with 20-point win and get right back into it.
Don't sleep on the Hombres; they can sneak up on you.
H for Hombres.
They're gonna get us out. Number 9, we have Team 1600 Dust, who was previously number 5. And they have also struggled. So week 1, they ended up losing more matches than they won, but with the points, they ended up getting the win, which was nice. Week 3, I think it's the opposite. I think they won 3 out of 5 matches and ended up losing.
Yep.
Exactly the same, just flipped.
Yeah, feels weird, man. But they haven't strung together enough wins and enough good weeks for us to keep justifying putting them as high as we were putting them. To their credit, I thought Temporal Legends would do much better than they did against them. So, they did hang on. They did fight. Ridiculous Hat and Hector Howell played one of the most fun series that we've had on Salty Saturday in quite a while. If you've listened to M-Bulk talk at all about his series, he'll tell you that Serial is the luckiest motherfucker he's ever seen in his life.
You're saying that Archmage Antonidas isn't usually in Rogue deck?
No, not usually. Prep's a good card with Archmage, huh?
Yeah, it turns out Swashbuckler, Archmage Antonidas, Prep Fireball is good. So,
also Ziggy Sarah got swept against Phoebus, which actually really surprised me a lot. I know that was her first game in the 4 seed, but Phoebus was he made his name known in the 5 seed as well, so I didn't think that that would be like a big deal for her, and seeing her get swept is bad. But you know what? Paladin, don't bring Paladin.
That's what I was about to say. It really surprised me until I looked at the class selection, and then it didn't surprise me at all. Druid, Paladin,
Priest. Yeah, something's going on there.
Like, that didn't surprise me one bit when I saw that she got swept.
The deck selections were definitely a little bit off, but also, I will say, hearing her report back on it, blaming luck is a bad thing, but her opponent told her, I have never seen someone get as unlucky as you did. She played Dragon Priest and in 2 games did not see a dragon.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
Which can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the team as a whole has just had difficulty pinning down the new metagame. We were pretty established in the previous metagame where a lot of the decks have been around for a little while. MSG definitely changed things, and this ultimately is a less smorky meta than most have seen, and rewards good matchup selection, but also knowing a wide variety of decks. And last season, I think we really just found our niche and said, we're going to play these decks with slight variation, and we're going to use it to hit our opponents when they're not expecting it, or even if they are expecting it, we think the matchups will be favored. Can't really do that this season. You can get away with about 2 smorky decks. If you think Rogue is smorky and you know what you're doing with it, you can get away with 3. But it's pretty hard to teach new people Rogue. And it's pretty hard to teach people that haven't played Control how to get used to Control. So really, we've been trying to fit what our team's comfort level is, but the new season has definitely thrown off what we're as accustomed to doing, and it's been difficult to adjust. I think that Zeroshio is a great pickup for us. Spiver actually had to leave the league for personal reasons, but Zeroshio is coming in the 2 seed with a 412 PR, and I have a lot of faith to see what he's going to bring.
Yeah, that was another reason we kind of put them down. It's like another unknown factor going on here. They have like new members on the team. They're getting a sub this week. Like it's it's hard to really pin down where the new team will be.
And our sub this week in the 5 seed is Vedni. Let Vedni play.
Oh no, maybe 1600 Dust is not winning as much is because their captain's dumb, like signing Vedni and allowing their players to, bring Jordan Paladin. I don't know. If only we could talk to their captain.
Hey, Mage, go fuck yourself.
It's cool to get your perspective on that because, it's tough as an outsider looking in to know what's going on in the minds of like a team when, someone's bringing this lineup or like when this team is struggling. So we appreciate that for sure. So number 8, we have Aeon. Who was previously 15th, and they shot right the fuck up. And so here's our thinking. This is the first week that they have gotten to play with, I think, the full lineup that they originally wanted.
Yep.
5 players that they wanted. And so we put a little bit less weight on the previous weeks when they were like juggling rosters and had like a 200 PR5 seed and stuff. So Aeon, with their 5-man roster, the 5 that they wanted, went up against Supreme, who we had number 1, and they won 4 out of the 5 matches. So, and this includes Slim and Cheesy losing, which, like, it's probably not going to happen very often same week. So we gave them a lot of credit for being able to do that and for finally having, that fight they wanted. And it looks scary strong. It looks really good. Obviously, the question marks in the 5 seed remains, even though he did get a win this week. He's still, it's hard. He's unproven to us at this point. Like he needs to prove himself over multiple weeks. But good start for him. Really nice week for Aeon to bounce back. And, maybe they'll stop crying and bitching about not being able to make playoffs now. I don't know.
I think Marshall nailed it in chat that their team's always had talent. Consistency's always just really been an issue for them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I think having talked to some of those guys in Discord, they seemed a lot more cohesive than in the past with those Aeon teams. They seem like they're getting along well. I know that they're practicing together for the most part, or at least 4 of them are. So that's good signs.
Yep.
Good signs for Aeon. And I think that we're going to continue to see them climb.
I have a lot of faith in that 1-2 punch of Top Hat and Kungmar at the top.
Yeah, they're both really good.
I think so too. I think I think Top Hat Demon, like he did beat Slim. I'm not sure how I feel about him as a 1 seed player, but he has a 500 PR and beating Slim is really nice as well. Kongmar's debut was super impressive, coming out and sweeping Cheesy.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. They look good. What I'm doing here is stalling until I can find the rest of my notes.
Perfect.
All right, I'm actually just going to move on because I can't find them.
Perfect.
So at number 7, we have NWA, who was previously number 4. And I think that, like Noob Central, you could make a case for NWA being much lower than they are. And I would not disagree.
Nope, me neither. They lost to a team that was literally falling apart.
Yeah, they lost to a team that was quitting, memeing, and frankly, they all got their ass kicked by this memeing band of quitters.
Everyone except for
Dreaded's the guy. So Tony Montana lost in 5 to Adidas. Salt lost in 5 to Wolfman. We saw Dynamis whoop Pink Samus's ass on stream with the memeiest of memes. Force of Will lost 1-3 to Arcane. Dreaded did pull off 3-1 over Crest, which is definitely, I mean, it's just Dreaded is always really solid and steady as a player. That's not surprising to me. I am surprised about the rest, and yeah, so I think at some point we can't keep letting them get by on their name and the players that we know, and Salt and Tony Montana, etc. And they have a big test coming up in that regard.
Oh, man, looking at these numbers, this is really rough. Like, I think it's not a question of NWA should be lower, just we don't know who should be higher yet.
Yeah.
But like Tony Montana is 5-8 on the season in the 1 seed. He got swept by Old Greg and he lost a five-game series to Adidas. Won a 5-game series against G-Nets, but like Pink Samus is the best performing player in this team by far. But everybody else is right around 50% win rate or lower.
Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit. And they'll have a tough test this week. They play Team Wilmette, who's coming off a big win.
Well, so I was going to say, it's a tough test because NWA is reeling, and Team Wilmette looks like they've had some momentum going. But
a team they still
on paper, they should beat them. And if they can't beat them, then now all the red sirens or the red flags and the wailing sirens are going to start going out, and we're going to start asking like questions like what's wrong. But this is a chance to get on track for them. On paper, they should win. I think that they're favored, and
yeah, I think
they're favored in 3 out of 5, and 1 toss up with Montana and Hot Asian Grill, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see. No pressure.
And it's tough to tell.
Like, they're still near the top. They're not down too far, but if they continue to put up weeks like they did last week, it'll definitely, they could slide a lot farther.
Yeah. So at number 6, we have the Harry Generals, who were previously 12.
Big move.
Huge move. We started them off like 14, something like that, and they've pretty much just consistently gone up from there.
Yeah.
We mentioned it earlier. They played against New Central, a team that I thought that they should probably lose to, and they just beat the dog shit out of them. Markshire did win 3-2. I don't know. We said all these before. Everyone knows the results at this point. But Jedi lost 3-2 Cutthroat, which isn't, that's can't hold your head down over that one. But they're solid again. Unsurprising.
The thing about the Generals is, like, it seemed like they were low week 1 after they got dumpstered by Entropy, but here's the thing, it was Entropy. Yeah. And so, like, losing to the best team in the league week 1 and then proving that you don't deserve to be low in the power rankings, these guys have really put together an impressive string of consistent wins. They're 3 of their Markshire also having a hell of a season. 3-1 Phenom, 3-1 me, 3-2 Racy, or 2-2 Racy, I guess. But I think there's a lot of upside here, and it would not surprise me if we see the Harry Generals in the finals again.
Yeah, they're definitely doing what you have to do when you start low. Like on the power rankings, if you want to get to the top, just string together consistent wins against good teams. Like that's the formula.
Just win and you'll go up. I swear. If only the damage runs would ever listen.
Yeah, you have to consistently win though. Winning 1 week, it's like you're gonna move up, but not a lot. String together a few, and look, you'll shoot from 12 to 6.
Yeah. So like we looked at them after they put together their roster, and you're like, okay, no Dak, no Poker, they lost a lot of talent, and that's gonna be hard to overcome, and it is, but it just hasn't really mattered.
Chigmo
was a good signing. He's doing really well.
Yeah, Chigmo, I have a lot of respect for. He had a really good rookie season last season in the 2 seed, and he's piling together these wins. Generals are at it again, so see how far they keep climbing and winning. At number 4.
5.
Pucker up, boys. We got Parallax.
Did we skip the legend?
Yeah, we're at 5.
Oh, fuck. 5. Do we have to talk about them?
We can make it quick. That's for sure.
Okay.
How did you guys get these guys to 5th place?
It was painful.
I don't know. That was a really weird week, and there was a lot of things they didn't really know what to do with, and we're just like, I think they belong here. And then there was some discussion, and I don't know. It was a super weird. This was the hardest power rankings I think we've ever put together. At least for me personally.
It was literally the week of movement. Like, everyone's all over the place.
I mean, speaking of someone that didn't have input in the ranking of themselves, like, the Legends they got smashed week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, they did all right against a team that was in questionable states of morale. Mm-hmm. And week 3, they squeaked out a win against another struggling team that was supposed to be good from the previous week. So, like, I don't know, man. I think that ultimately, if we look forward to the end of the season, I bet Temporal Legend and NWA will be fighting to be top 10. But right now, looking at these numbers, like, Hector Howell hasn't won a match yet, which is really surprising for him. Loch Ness is a killer. Well, be nice. Come on. Loch Ness is a killer, but everybody else in the team is, like, under 50% except Phoebus, who is just barely over 50%.
Yeah. So this is my personal thing here, right? Part of that is because M-Bulk is 1-2 on the season, and that's definitely not great. But I know his history. I know how good he is, and I know that that's not going to persist. So I think that they're definitely, like, again, then you just made a really good one. You could definitely put them lower. But it's really hard to juggle with the movement and stuff. So it's like, if they were to go lower, who would you put ahead of them? Would you put the Harry Generals? Like, you can make a good case to do that. But they've also, like, it's really hard to move someone up too much, and it's hard to slide someone down a lot as well. So I definitely see what you're saying. And if you just looked at it like just purely from a vacuum, you could absolutely make that case.
Well, ultimately, what this list looks like and what a lot of the matchups look like, I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing as I have on ladder. It seems like the matchups matter more than ever. And so what we're going to see at the very top are the teams that can metagame the best, as well as have, not crazy fuck up with all the different decks they have to bring. But a lot of times, if you bring the wrong side of the lineup, you're going to get dumpstered on your way into the match. And we have very, very few teams that are putting together consecutive wins in a row. But ultimately, like, I think that Harry Generals and ultimately Aeon should be higher.
Yeah. Again, it's like
you could definitely make that case, but, like, you know how hard it would be to move someone from 15 to 5 in a week.
Yeah, that's
a really huge knee jerk.
But it's also really difficult to have Temporal Legends limp into a win this week and be moved up 3 spots.
But it's like, okay, here's the thing. Like, sure, they're like barely winning, but, like, a win's a win. If this was the playoffs, a barely win moves you on, and a barely loss, you're gone. Like, you're not coming back anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely see your point.
Yeah, I get what he's saying.
I think that if you followed our progression from preseason to now, I think that you'd probably feel more similar to us.
Well, you brought me on so that I have a different perspective.
No, and I appreciate it. I appreciate that perspective for sure. I don't know what I was saying, but we can
talking about Parallax.
Moving on to Parallax.
Parallax. They're shitty, but they win. Next. No. Yeah, no. Super Sam. We talked about how good of a signing he was in preseason. I think he's now 2-1. After losing week 1 to Hot Asian Girl, he beat Brewski and now Shady Zora. So, good for him. Houdini. Let's talk about Houdini.
Boy,
Houdini is just giving points to everyone. Just a free-point machine.
Yeah, he's just feeding.
Yeah, Houdini's really struggling, and that's surprising for me. Are you guys there?
Yeah, so Houdini. He lost to Eldorian. He lost to JB. He lost the first 2 weeks to players completely new to the league, and then got swept by Gideon. That seems unusual even for him.
I just at some point though I'm trying to find the word without being rude. He's struggling. He's super struggling, and now this is a very long, extended period of struggling, in which at this point most people would just say, okay, that player is just not as good as we thought. And I'm tending to lean toward that.
Yeah,
it might also be failure to adjust to a new meta, but yeah, I mean, it's just a question of being able to figure out a new situation.
I think I'm not talking about his Hearthstone ability at all. I'm talking strictly his performance in THL. However you want to qualify that, he is not as good as we thought. Obviously, in just pure Hearthstone, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that being said, though, they've had some people really, really shine. Gemini's seems to be bouncing back great after she lost week 1, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. No, she won week 1. She beat Shadow Jax. She lost week 2 to Scritch, I think.
Yeah.
Which probably she shouldn't have lost to. But she's 2-1 this season.
Bears having a pretty solid season so far.
Yeah, he's been great. Like he just swept what's his name? Delta 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I think he lost 2-3 to me, myself, and I, who has not lost. So taking him to 5 is really impressive. He's been great. And
Eridan Buddha to 5 and Jim Buddha's 4-0. So like that's
Eridan's been okay. He'll tell you, he told us that he sucks. I disagree. I think he's fine.
Yeah.
And I think Parallax looks to be in a pretty good spot, as shitty as they are.
What I see here is a team of generally consistent players, and Houdini being the only weak link right now. Yeah. Eridan is right at 50% for game wins, and then Super Sam 64%, Dyrus Bear 67%, Jeb 70%. And she's had 2 sweeps this season. Now, they were over Jaxox and Grim, so take that with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 sweeps are 2 sweeps.
Yeah. Their team looks strong. If Houdini could pull it together and play like we know he can play, they would be really strong.
Yeah, I think there's something there. I mean, that's the only weak link I see right now because the team as a whole is pretty consistent.
Yeah. All right, Mage, let's move on, buddy.
Sorry, I was responding to a Skype message. So Defiance Brotherhood. Preseason number 1s. If you look at the roster's great. They obviously haven't gotten off the start that they want. But here's the thing about them. They have not lost.
Yeah, they're still undefeated technically.
They have 1 win and 2 ties, which is super odd, right? But they haven't lost. Jesus finally got his big win over Tranador, who's not good, but whatever. He finally off the schneid, got that sweep. I'm sorry. Old Greg lost again. I think he's 1-2 on the season, which, 1 seeds, those tend to go either way most of the time. So as long as he doesn't keep losing, he should be okay. A-Roy coming for that MVP, now 3-0 on the season after his 2nd straight reverse sweep.
What a killer.
Yeah. He has not lost a regular season match since season 3. Oh, sorry, season 3. Yeah, season 3. This is season 5.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is kind of fucking crazy. He just keeps winning. I don't really know much about the rest of the roster. AO had a big win last week, followed it up with a game 5 loss. He's still a question mark for me, although I tend to think that as 5 seed goes, he'll be okay. Obviously, they want to win, but tying isn't the worst.
Now, this is another team, you could make an argument for them being lower, and I would hear you out on it, because maybe they should be. But, like I said, they haven't lost. Their roster is still really strong. The seeds where they have been losing are seeds that I would argue aren't problem seeds for them. Like, Jesus had been struggling, but Jesus is going to bounce back and do fine. Old Greg had been struggling a little bit. He's going to do fine. Comp is a really strong 3 seed. He played against Zab, who's also a pretty good 3 seed, so you could make an argument that Comp will be fine. And AO is kind of just a question mark, so.
And I think Old Greg the 2 series he lost were both 5-game series. He is 2 games away from being undefeated.
Yeah, so I don't know. You could definitely make the argument, but they still haven't lost, which does matter, right? You're not giving up
Yeah, they're also
I'm caught up reading chat. This is pretty good.
Like, they're still only 5 points off first in their division. Like, they're in second in their division. They have 46 points. They're like 7th in the league in points, 8th maybe, 8th I think it is. And like, they're still in there. Like, they haven't lost either.
Yeah. To be fair, they also haven't played against the strongest of teams either, though. They played Danger Zone, NWA, and Synergy. I think ultimately, listening to the conversation this week, we don't really have a lot of contenders for the top spots. We have a lot of people that have been consistent, and we have people that have limited to winning matches or have barely lost matches, and we know more about the players. But ultimately, we don't have a lot of teams that are really set out to make a claim this early and say we deserve the championship outside of 1 to 2 teams.
Yeah, so that's just the thing. Like, who would you put ahead of them? You could potentially put Parallax, and you can make a decent argument for that. The flip side of that is Parallax has played no one, has lost some matches, or potentially I think they'd be 1 and 2 if they didn't get a DQ from Sage. So
I'm going to say it now. I think the Harry Generals are a top 3 team.
Yeah, I'm never going to move anyone from like 16 to 3 in 1 week. Though.
No, you should have moved them. I'm just going to say it right now.
Yeah.
THC is a top 3 team.
Sure, I think if you look in a vacuum, you could definitely make that argument. But this doesn't take place in a vacuum. So.
Yep.
I'll agree. I don't think these rankings are perfect by any means, but I think what people are asking is a little unreasonable. You can't ask someone to go from the bottom to the top in 1 week. That's just not how power rankings work.
No, there's no way, and you have to act on the data the data you've gathered, and kind of an incremental change over multiple weeks. And this is a very difficult season because a lot of the overall quality of the league is much harder to read. There are a lot of new teams, a lot of shakeups, a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on. You have no way of knowing until you're basically trying to predict the end of season standings at the beginning of the season. It's very difficult to do.
I mean, and he's saying that Aeon should never be at 15th place, but like Aeon lost to Temporal Legend, and they barely beat 1600 Dust. They're a 1-1 team that had or did they lost to 1600 Dust? Yeah, no.
Yeah, they lost, but they won.
Aeon had not won a game until this week, and we want to put them top 3.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It'd be a big reach. And then basically at that point, you're redoing the beginning of season power rankings every single week. That's not realistic. I'm not saying that the process behind making these is invalid. I'm just saying I bet you that week 9, Harry Generals will be top 3.
It's definitely possible.
I definitely think that they have a chance to be, for sure. I think they're really good.
Shall we talk about the top 2?
Let's do it.
And this is the thing, Markshire. The strength of their roster, it was in flux. They were not set until now, and we had no idea when they'd be able to be set. So sure, like if you have 20/20 hindsight vision, I agree. But we don't have that 20/20 vision. We had no idea when Kungmar was getting back, if he was getting back at all.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you did the power rankings for A on week 2, we weren't even sure. We thought that team was going to Yog Champ their way out of here.
That's another good point, but that's a different story.
Also, I propose that Yog Champ now be a verb.
All right, so I haven't been mentioning. Fuck you, Rob. My hands do work. So, yeah. So number 2. Sorry, I'm getting really caught in the chat. This is an interesting discussion, and I'm also texting on Skype, to be honest. But number 2, we have Supreme. I'm gonna say it. God, don't hate me, Parker. I think Supreme is super overrated, and I think that we're going to see them fall.
It's definitely possible.
I think that their bottom of the roster is what we feared. It is incredibly weak after they both lost again, including Senior Saxon losing to Town Drunk, and this actually might be the only game that Town Drunk wins. So
it's and a sweep.
Yeah.
Detective Diamond still losing. And then as great as the 1, 2, and 3 are, and they are great, Hearthstone is a game that is incredibly hard to win consistently in just from different factors. So they're 2 here from, pretty much name recognition and all that, but I could definitely see them falling for sure.
Yeah, it seems like any time that one of the top 3 seeds loses, you are incredibly underrated. It's almost the team is built for a 3-2 most weeks, and Hearthstone happens sometimes. And to see Cheesy getting swept and Slimsh losing, that's a really unusual occurrence. I don't know if I'd say the team is overrated so much that I don't know if there's anyone to put over them at the moment. But yeah, I don't think that we're looking at a team rank 5 situation where you can count in the 4 and 5 seeds to really perform.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no say in where we go in these rankings. I let them put us because I'm not going to be biased, but I would agree with a lot of the points you say. I think the bottom of our roster is weak. I think they have a lot of work to do. And I think a lot of it's whether or not they're willing to do the work and willing to listen to input that they're given. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll also say I don't think Cheesy and Slimsh are going to lose as often as that's just not going to be a regular occurrence. So
yeah. So I was ignoring the tiers at this point. I shouldn't do that because whatever. I got caught in the chat. Our needs work tier was 20 to 15, and the playoff hunt was 14 to 8. And our playoff teams, just teams that we think are just above the rest right now, are 8 to 2 or 7 to 2.
7 to 2.
7. Yeah. And we have one championship favorite at this point.
Yep. Entropy.
So let's talk about Entropy, who is our preseason number 1. Not our preseason number 1, our current number 1. Sorry. They're good. Smoke Salmon got his wish, the number 1. They're really good. Smoke Salmon, probably the best 2 seed in the league, or one of them at this point.
Yeah.
He graduated.
He's still the 2 seed.
No, he's
back.
Yeah,
they flip-flopped last week. They flip-flopped last week, but because of how they both won, Phenom ended up 1 point ahead. So Phenom struggled. He beat me, but I was playing meme decks, and not gonna give him a ton of credit for that one, but still, obviously, he's still a great player. Crayon holding it down the 3 seed. I don't think he's lost yet, right?
Nope.
I don't know. D Lyman hasn't lost it either. And Crackshot has won both games that he's played with the DQ, which is bad DQ. So I don't know. They seem to be top to bottom very strong. I still have questions about Crackshot, but 2-0 and games that you played is pretty good. Fuck the rest of you guys. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to bet against this team that wins pretty much every match they show up for except Phenom, and we know the 1 seed is naturally super competitive, but for the 2, 3, 4, and 5 to be undefeated in played matches is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, they're definitely the strongest team in the league right now. I don't even think it's close, really, and they have the most points in the league as well. It's fairly easy to put them 1 and say that there's really no one else that should be there.
Yep.
I will also say that Smoke Salmon might be my favorite person in Discord ever, and if any of you can hang out with him and listen to his commentary on his games and which ones count, you should definitely listen to him.
Smoke Salmon is the funniest person in Discord for sure.
Also, is them and Defias the only undefeated teams?
I actually have no idea. That's something that we should keep, wins and losses as well as points. I don't know why we don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are, though.
Yeah. So, everyone wants to, shut on Defias and say they should be lower. They're the only other undefeated team other than Entropy.
I think there was one more undefeated team, but they're no longer in the league, and that's the OgCamp.
Yeah. New team. Can't really call them undefeated.
And they lost last week, anyways. They lost to Avatar. Oh man, they lost to Avatar. Never mind.
No. The OgChamps beat NWA last week.
Yeah, week 2 they lost Avatar.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yogchamps would have been a top 5 team, and now Initium Novum, it's a new beginning.
That's that means in Latin, right?
Initium Novum means a new beginning. Yes.
Well, here's a good thing for Initium Novum, like going forward. We have them so low, and it's hard to say where they should be. But good news for them, they're like getting a start with a brand new team at the second most points in the league. Like that's a really good spot to start from.
Yep.
You couldn't really ask for a better spot to start a new team. So like if they don't make playoffs from there, like it's gonna have to be a rough second half of the season.
And they will have to get acclimated to Conquest, but I think there's a lot of upside here.
Yeah. But do we have anything else to add? Any other comments, questions, concerns? Chat.
This was a long power rankings, and I got lost like halfway through it, so I'm just now coming up from air after reading the chat.
This was fun.
Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, let's take some questions, chat. Throw us your shit. I'm just reading stuff.
Good list. Just swap Supreme and Hombres, and you have it right.
Right. Perfect. I agree. Supreme's garbage. Airden, no one gives a shit about your shitty team. Airden, don't you be coming in here and talking about how good Parallax is when privately in Discord.
You talk about how overrated your team is? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to say that out loud. But you know what?
I will.
Why are we 7, mate? Good question. I would personally put you lower. I got talked out of it a little bit. But, you know?
Who says that, Salt?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. They probably should be lower. It's, everyone around you also lost.
Yeah. It's the hardest week. Like I've said this before, but this was the hardest week I've ever had with power rankings because, like, people at the top just getting dumpstered, people on the bottom winning, and it was just like, how do we fill it out? How do we fix the puzzle? And it was super hard. Yeah, the NWA could be lower, but you know what? You're not. So sack it up and win.
Yeah. Also, like, I think the power rankings is something that consistently we like to move teams very little. So like, this is the biggest I think we've ever moved teams. Like, this is the biggest shakeup that I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, we've definitely never shot someone from like 15 to 8, for example.
Yeah, or 12 to 6, or like just teams have consistently shot up and down on this list, and like it's really hard. There was a lot of movement.
This week you had a lot of data to work with, and you had to figure out the signal versus the noise. And it's very difficult to figure out what matters and what's a blip, right? Because it's all about consistency. But in this new meta and in this matchup-dependent lineups, we don't know yet who are the best metagamers and who are the ones that best know what to go on with their opponents. And in the past, there hasn't been as much addition to the league either. You've been able to say, well, they played this last season, they must play this season. You can't really do that anymore, especially now that captains aren't asking each other for information.
Got a point.
Hey, it matters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, chat's just as dead as a doornail. So, you
I
want to
love
it
up? If you guys want to discuss it further, we'll be in Discord, and I'd be more than happy to debate and have fun with it while I'm setting up Wicked Wednesday.
Yep, that's all we got. So, bye.
Thanks, guys.